So with San Diego Comic-Con basically coming to a close now here at the end of this weekend, we have now seen how much the Transformers franchise is really like going full steam ahead. When for a while during the earlier part of this year, I was wondering how things were going to turn out. And with comic books, with a movie coming out, with re-releases of toys, and a crossover that just wowed me to like no end. It really did. It really, really wowed me. So I'm going to talk about all of that stuff and more. So without further ado, let's sit back, relax, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and let's transform and roll out. Consider supporting the channel on Patreon, becoming a channel member, or purchase some merch. Links are in the description below. So the first thing I want to talk to you guys today about is that we should say a big happy birthday, 83 years old, the legendary Peter Cullen, the voice of Optimus Prime. And, wish this man a happy birthday. He has voiced Optimus Prime since the beginning. And he still, is willing to lend his voice wherever he can and still do so. Even if it's not in every single project, but he does get himself very, very well involved in the Transformers. And I am all for it. So happy birthday, Peter Cullen. You are a legend. I also want to congratulate Daniel Warren for winning 2 Eisner Awards at San Diego Comic-Con for his work on the Transformers comic book as both a writer and an artist, and for his continuing work on the Transformers. This book is very, very good. I've read the first 10 issues so far. This book is done really, really well. I know not everybody likes it, and that's perfectly fine, but this book is getting a lot of people excited about Transformers again. Congratulations to Daniel Warren Johnson. Okay, so the next thing that I want to talk to you guys today about is this statement's here from Josh Cooley, who is the director for Transformers 1. Now, you guys saw my live stream. I gave my skepticism, right? I gave my reasonable approach to Transformers 1 from a look at it and going, man, I kind of wish it was kind of done this way. I wish they would have done it this way. I'm not sure if this movie is going to be enjoyable. Like, are they just going to how are they going to take the Transformers and will they do it in a good direction? Because, I've been very critical of the live action films for very good reason, I mean, what we expected way back in 2007 when that first movie came out, and we were the ones ringing the bell saying, you got to see a Transformers movie, was not what we expected. So I'm hoping for a good Transformers movie, right? Something that I can really enjoy. I can enjoy the characters. I wish the lore was connected to original source material than it was. But we know that what they're taking from this is that, Josh Cooley decided to take from different continuities, like the Aligned continuity, take from Generation 1, take from the Marvel Comics, take from all that stuff, and say, hey, maybe you might, maybe this will work in a narrative storytelling here in order to bring an origin story for Optimus and Megatron done in a way for, general audiences. And that's not a bad approach to it. He literally says here, this is a new Transformers continuity. It is not connected to the live action films. It's not connected to G1, the Aligned continuity. And how the thing is, people have seen it. New York, LA, now people in San Diego Comic-Con, Sydney, Australia, I believe, and London had premieres for this film. And with those premieres, they've seen it, people like Jobby, people like Kay and Carlisle, people like Thu, they've all seen this movie already, and they're all giving it praise. They're all saying it's a good movie. I'm taking a step back and saying, I hope it's good. I'll watch it. I'm a little bit more positive about it than I was before. I am going to go in with an open mind and hoping that the movie is done well and that it handles this franchise as well as it could be. So, with that said, let's just hope the Transformers 1 is good. I think that some people are going to be pleasantly surprised, all things considered, but they may still be turned off in it, and that's perfectly fine. So let's get into some Transformers toys, shall we? So Hasbro is going to be doing another G.I. Joe Transformers crossover figure, and this time they are taking Kup and having him transform into Sergeant Slaughter's Triple T. And he's going to come with both Slaughter and Leatherneck, which is very, very cool. Here he is in robot mode with both G.I. Joe figures, so he's going to be just as big as that Megatron. And in vehicle mode, he'll be able to carry both of them as well, which this is the vehicle that, like, I believe that Sergeant Slaughter is known for. So this is cool. This is very, very cool. Sergeant Slaughter is, you know, not only in toy form, but in real life, complete gentleman. I've met him once before. Very, very cool guy. So if you're a fan of G.I. Joe and you're a fan of Transformers, this is definitely something for you. Me personally, I have the His Tank Megatron. I'm not a big fan of it, to be quite honest with you. But I know a lot of folks who really like these G.I. Joe Transformers crossovers. They make great G.I. Joe vehicles that are also Transformers. And they make great for those of you who are really big into G.I. Joe. So, I guess it's kind of cool. This next thing here just wowed me. I have to say, man, like, this is the reason why I did the real Knight Rider music on my Knight Rider Hot Rod intro mashup. I have the original one, which is monetized, but of course I got the copyright claim on the update version because, well, here you go. Kit is being made into a Transformer. And it is going to be a licensed Pontiac Firebird. And is straight up going to have a robot mode and everything. This is incredible. In the box, you can see here, Kit, or as he's named, Agent Knight, transforms into a Pontiac Firebird, has the wristwatch, like, Kit, come in, right? You know, I'm right here, Michael. And, you know, switching to turbo boost. Now, a lot of people have made mention that they don't like the fact the underside of this car here has this, like, weird thing going on. But to my understanding, this is done because, well, he's got lights and sounds. That's right. They actually got Mr. Feeney himself to do the voice of Kit and has lights and sounds and everything. We'll have different sounds for both robot mode and vehicle mode. And he's going to be a Voyager scaled car. And of course, his robot mode, you know, has a bunch of different weapons. It's a brand new mold. It's a brand new toy. One thing I will make mention of as I'm looking at the robot mode, it reminds me of the Omnibots. If you're familiar with the Omnibot Overdrive, which I know there's a certain subscriber who was always asking me to do a retrospective on the Omnibots. I think it's going to come down the pipeline. Actually, speaking of my next Transformers retrospective, I am working on episode 100. It's going to be a very big character. And after that point, you know, maybe I can see about doing some of the smaller ones, but we'll see. But in the meantime, this figure, man, I said it before, like, you know, I was happy they did the DeLorean, right? I happily got the Ectotron. I still need to get the party van. They're calling it Party Wallop. I do want that. I have the Jurassic Park one. I missed out on the X-Men one, but I'm kind of in on the X-Men one. But this is like, this and the A-Team van would be like two where I'm like, and Airwolf would be definitely like three Transformers crossover toys that I'm like, yeah, I'm all about that. I definitely want that. This has lights and sounds. Like, this has the, you know, like all that stuff. Like, oh man. And it has recolor potential. They can do a different head sculpt if they want to. Make it with a yellow visor instead of a red one. Give him a yellow, you know, the LED in the front of the car and give it yellow highlights or something like that. Maybe make it red on the legs and make car. And if they do car, they'll probably do the gray striping on the car to make him actually be car. But this figure is going to sell like hotcakes, man. Like this is, oh, I am gushing straight up. Like this is just so cool. I want this figure. I want this figure quite a bit. Now, I did talk about Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime during my live stream. I didn't get the opportunity to do any comparison shots, but fortunately some people have gotten their hands on the figure already, so you can kind of see this. Like, this is the Netflix Bumblebee. This is Studio Series 86 Bumblebee. Here's Studio Series 86 Optimus and Earthrise Optimus. And after seeing it, I'm like, yeah, definitely. I definitely want this Optimus Prime figure. You know, a lot of people were like, oh, he's just going to be an Earthrise retool. He's just going to be an Earthrise retool. Nope. Brand new mold. Just goes above and beyond to try to make a much better Optimus Prime figure. And I think they've knocked it out of the park this time. Definitely want them. So Hasbro did do a brand panel, fan stream while at, San Diego Comic-Con. I keep wanting to say New York because like I've been to New York Comic-Con, many times, but have never been to San Diego myself personally. But they went over a lot of good stuff. A lot of stuff is getting re-released. Some stuff is coming brand new. There is the core class movie Starscream. This is for those of you who are big into the live action, Bumblebee movie, figures. Very, very cool. If we're getting Starscream, we're probably going to get the rest of the Seekers. I don't think that a lot of people thought that core class was done and over with. Maybe they're not so done. We'll see. We're also getting a concept movie Frenzy. I thought this was kind of cool too. I still need to get my Studio Series 86 Frenzy. It's been on order literally since October, and I have not got it yet. Like, it's still like the pre-order is already paid for through Entertainment Earth. So I'm like, I don't know why it like was so short packed, but doing the concept art, Frenzy is good for those of you who have that movie Soundwave, and got their hands on the Rumble and want to have Frenzy as well. I was very surprised that they decided to do a clean version of Transformers Reactivate Bumblebee, since this video game still is either, I don't know if it's still in active development or if they've canceled development or what the story is, but to get a clean version of this Bumblebee is very good for those of you who have gotten yourself invested in the designs for these robots, because I've heard the toys are phenomenal. The Soundwave toy is very good, that the Optimus is very good. So this Bumblebee looks kind of cool, not going to lie. Also glad to see them doing a full-on Studio Series Megatron for Transformers 1. It's going to be a deluxe class, and I think that there is a reason behind that, is because the Optimus for it is also in a deluxe class. But one thing I'm taking note of the design for this figure is how it turns into the tank mode. And the way that they're, having it come across is rather interesting. And the reason why I say that is because I have been curious as to how they're going to do a Studio Series 86 Megatron. That's what I'm waiting for. And I think that this may be like, maybe like they might take some of the design cues from this in order to deliver that. But for those of you who are excited for Transformers 1, as I talked about previously, this Megatron is definitely for you, because this is going to, they're going to go through probably all of the main characters, for it through Studio Series. So that's kind of cool too. They're also doing a Gamer Edition Ratchet. This, of course, is based upon the War for Cybertron. So they're using that design and color scheme. If you are a fan of the aligned continuity, this is right up your alley. If you had already gotten, I believe they did Ironhide previously. So I'm actually pleasantly surprised how this one turned out, and I think he looks pretty cool. This next set, of course, is the Revenge of the Fallen 15th Anniversary Autobot Multi-Pack. They are re-releasing Jetfire, Optimus, who combines with him, and the RC triplets, and they are going to have a reversible backdrop for both the Battle of Egypt as well as the Shanghai battle. And you'll be able to, do so with both, with all of the figures there. And it's a re-release of all of them. And it's very good for those of you who are fans of the live action films. From what I understand, some of these figures were, the RC triplets were like all over the place, at least as far as I remember seeing on the shelves. But Jetfire, I'm not sure if I ever saw that one, or Optimus. And I recently watched Revenge of the Fallen. I'm not a fan. Just not a fan. Had to watch the whole thing in order to do my wheelie retrospective, so... but this is definitely for you if you are a fan of Revenge of the Fallen or the live-action films, and you wanted to get your hands on these Studio Series figures. This set right here is Bludgeon and Ruckus. Ruckus being a retool of, Legacy Beachcomber. I think he looks great. I wish that the other Trigger Cons had their, actual flip-out cannons, but, good thing that Non-F can do so for Windsweeper. I still want to get the Windsweeper pack. I've been skeptical because I even said this before in my live stream. I was like, I don't like Bludgeon with the head sculpt or the color scheme that they're using for him. I understand it's an early IDW design, but I want Ruckus. I don't necessarily want Bludgeon. I want Windsweeper. I don't want the breakdown. I want Squeeze Play. I don't want anyone else in that 4-pack. And I said that before in the live stream, but this is an Amazon exclusive. And they're also doing, this is going to be a PulseCon exclusive. This is Dino King. I talked about him in my live stream as well. And I'm very excited about this in particular. I've heard the mold it leaves a lot to be desired. Maybe they might do a full-scale one if the interest in this, because that's what they're doing. They're probably trying to gauge interest with Transformers Victory based upon these things. And I'm sure that Victory fans, like Galaxy Shuttle was hard to find, and of course Star Saber and Deathsaurus were HasLab, so this being a PulseCon exclusive, and this is probably right in scale with the original Dino King figure. And again, I talked about this in the live stream, but I think it looks great. So the biggest surprise out of San Diego Comic-Con was definitely the fact that Hasbro acknowledged that a lot of these figures within the last 4 years have been really, really, really hard to come by. I have been saying for months that Studio Series 86 Grimlock needs to be re-released. And now they're going to be doing so again next year. But now they've actually made the announcement that Cosmos is out of his exclusivity deal, and Cosmos will be re-released, in the near future. Any one of you who missed out on Cosmos can get him. A lot of people missed out on the first release of Breakdown for their Menasor, but they are going to do a G2 release first. And it looks like they're going to be using the, multi-pack for Menasor head for this particular mold. And they're going, of course, with the Generation 2 color scheme. Now, those of you who don't know, the very first BotCon exclusive was a Generation 2 Breakdown. And, because they decided not to release the Stunticons during Generation 2, but they had the color schemes and everything worked out. So if you've been trying to collect all your Generation 2 Stunticons, this is definitely for you. And if you don't care about the colors and you still just need one Breakdown to complete your Menasor, you can get the Generation 2 one as a placeholder, or just to be, to work with your Menasor if that's what you choose to do. So I'm very happy for fans in that respect. They're going to be re-releasing the Origins Bumblebee, which is very good because I still need to get my hands on Origins Wheeljack. Haven't found him. Heard he's been selling out in places, but a lot of people were like, well, I didn't get this Origins Bumblebee figure, because I didn't think they were going to end up doing the Wheeljack. Well, they ended up doing Wheeljack, and now they're re-releasing the Bumblebee. So those of you who got your hands on Origins Wheeljack and missed out on the Bumblebee will be able to get him again as well. Very excited about that too. They are doing Armada Rampage, or as he's known to you, those of you in the US, Wheeljack. They are using the Sideswipe mold again from the retooling that they did for the Shattered Glass Sideswipe, and they're releasing him as Wheeljack for this in this color scheme. I believe this makes 15 variations of the mold for Sideswipe that they are doing. So like Sideswipe is definitely the seeker. He is definitely the seeker of the Autobots. And if you already got Dirge, now you can get Ramjet. I was fortunate enough to get my hands on both Dirge and Ramjet thanks to a friend of the channel. And So I already have them both, but I had the wing on Ramjet is like reversed on mine. It's got a QC issue, so it's the wrong wing for one of them. So this is probably more welcome for me, because everybody knows that this whole Conehead set was difficult to get. So releasing Dirge, now they'll do Ramjet. I'm sure they'll do Thrust in the future. So very excited about that as well. They are, for some reason, doing Tarn again. I mean, they're already doing the multi-pack with the Joker face. He was just as easy to get as before. I don't get it, but they're re-releasing Tarn. But okay. And Galaxy Shuttle, as I mentioned before. You know, now if you're going to get Dino King, and you can get yourself, you know, Galaxy Shuttle to face off against him, you know, that's kind of cool for sure. And they're doing Overcharge. You guys saw my Blitzwing retrospective? Then yes, they are redecoing the Legacy Blitzwing figure into the Diaclone colors, which is that green and silver, as you can see here. So this is definitely a welcome addition to any of you who want to get those Diaclone colored, you know, figures. Almost completely forgot to talk about this, but they are also doing Studio Series 86 Devastator next year, and he's going to be released in 4, I believe it's going to be 2 Deluxes, 2 Voyagers, Hook, and Long Haul. Will be done in Commander class. So yeah, I'm excited about that, because this Devastator is going to probably be a lot better than the Combiner Wars version for sure. And I know a lot of fans are going to be excited about that for sure. And with that said, San Diego Comic-Con has come and gone, and a lot of people are excited about the new figures, and a lot of people are going to be excited about the re-releases as well. And I think that Transformers is doing a lot better than I did, you know, maybe a month or 2 ago. A lot to be excited about for sure. And I mean, this right here, Kit with Knight Rider, I'm gonna gush over this figure until, like, when I finally get my hands on Kit, like, I'm just gonna be like brought back to the 1980s again with that car, man. Like, it was a time. So, but I want to know what you guys think. Are you excited about all of this Transformers news? Of course, leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Be sure to thumbs up this video and subscribe. Check out my other videos as well. I have many more Transformers news, retrospectives, and more coming down the pipeline. So stay tuned for all of that. And as always, guys, until next time, till all are one.